oh, he made a move. It was weird. I didn't want to do nothing, so I sucked his for 30 minutes.
Sykkuno, Asian dude, streamer, very popular, and he has like this weird, awkward personality. Yeah, a big scandal basically happened where it was just found out that he was. Oh, well, you know what? The video will explain it better than I can.
Entire Sykkuno drama in just 15 seconds. Sykkuno cheated on his girlfriend for 5 years with younger, smaller content creators, typically VTubers, by dumping loads of money on them while pretending to be a naive boy failure. The controversy comes from his cheating and the age gap between him in his 30s and his teenage targets. For more details, check out the video on my channel. It goes over everything in only 12 minutes.
That was just a good nutshell of what happened. Let me pull up this second one real quick. My bad.
Went to Evil Las Vegas alone. But I wasn't alone. I shared a hotel room with Sykkuno, but I didn't know
his name should be a giveaway.
That
Sykkuno.
he had other intentions.
You didn't know,
and I didn't ask him to share a room with me. In truth, like, I don't mind getting my own hotel and all this. Like, I was insistent on being like, are you rooming with a group or with friends? And he said no, but there's 2 beds, so like you'll get your own bed, you know. So I took his offer.
Wow.
Being a dumbass, I took his offer.
You were.
At least you knew that.
He made a move on me. It did take like 30 minutes.
The
I
move?
didn't want it to happen. So instead, I just gave him oral. I barely slept that night. Then in the morning,
leave? Were you locked in there?
He didn't really want to talk about it, and I was just kind of trying to open it up and talk to him about like what happened. I don't know, but I can't remember. But he ends up hugging me, but then pushes me onto the bed from the hug. We end up having sex, and
at least wants us to think that.
To tell him to stop, so I just let it happen. And while this was happening, while we were doing it, I always wear protection, and I only sleep with people I'm in a relationship with. So I'm not used to one-night stands or anything like that. But we were not using protection, and I'm legally hard of hearing. But in the heat of the moment, he asked me if it was safe, and I didn't hear him. But I just said, and he finished inside of me. We just laid there for a little bit, and then I brought it up. I asked him, when was your last relationship? And do you sleep around often? Like, is this normal for you? And he said 3 years ago. So I ended up sleeping at my friend's hotel room, and that he would want to reconcile. And me being the dumbass I am, I still wanted to be friends with him for some reason. So I really thought he was...
That's not fair.
Honestly sorry, and I accepted it. And I thought I was the only one.
She wasn't the only one. He'd been doing this a long time, so she came out and really talking around it and trying to indirectly implicate him and label him as a predator. He was basically doing this with VTubers, where he was kind of going after certain girls, and he was like sliding up in their DMs and stuff like that. They had receipts.
You talking about young girls?
Younger. I don't think
minors.
They're not minors. You know, you can call him a piece of shit for like his behavior, but you can't throw him in jail for it. You know,
I was ready to call him a piece of shit until she kept talking.
Definitely piece of shit for sure.
He's definitely a piece of shit, but now I'm like,
and still predator. I think what he's doing is predatory. He's looking for women that are gullible and that are looking for to come up and know about him and the roads that he can open up, the paths that he can open up for him. He's using that to his advantage.
He knows he's a lick.
He knows.
I wanted to be more on her side, but the more she kept talking, it was getting away from how she framed it in the beginning.
When he told you can just stay in the room and there's an extra bed, why are you going in this man's room? We know what's
when
up.
You said you didn't want to share a room with him in the first place.
And that you don't get down like that.
And that you had your own accommodations.
The killer for me is for some reason. I don't know what it was, but just for some reason, I went along with it. Like, you just don't want to say the reason?
Ended up having sex. Like, you really just tried to not directly say,
thank you.
You know,
what happened. You were using him just as much as he was using
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, because she explained too many outlets in it. You said you had your own money to get your own room.
Never had no problem getting accommodations.
Exactly. You said your friend had a room which you ended up staying with afterwards. So why didn't, at your first uncomfortable interaction or him saying, just stay with me? No, I'll go as my fucking friend.
And, he made a move. It was weird. I didn't want to do nothing. So I sucked his dick for 30 minutes.
So I
stayed there. And the next day had sex. Like, what the fuck? Like, what?
That's why I'm like, did he have the chain on the door or something? Like, you do whatever just to get it over with or whatever.
Because you didn't know
And
why.
you still didn't say, I'm getting my shit and I'm going to my friend. Or at least call your friend, hey, girl, can you come get me? Or
this ain't right.
This ain't right. Something.
I'm not comfortable.
Now it's a lot more participation on your end than
the more
you
she
led
kept talking.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more. And then you laid there in the bed and conversed with him. When was your last relationship? Do you do this often? Somebody that assault you and force you to do, or at least entice you to engage in sexual activity that you didn't want to. You're not going to sit here and now play 20 questions with the motherfucker.
Tell me why she was the victim.
When it comes to influence, he would have the power position technically. Because while he has his own motives, he also has access to resources that you want. So he knows that. So because he knows that, and because he knows she knows that, he's manipulating the situation to get what he wants out of her using things like that. It's kind of Diddy-ish.
No.
If you think about it, like using the girl's career, they knew they were coming to him for a career.
No.
So he would do these things and be like, if you want this career, and that's what he was giving at the beginning of her story. It's like a game plan. Like he already had his mapped out. Whatever he did to make her feel like she could not leave that room is why I think he is wrong. There was something that kept her there after she was uncomfortable, after she felt manipulated into activity she didn't want.
Not her own desire. Not talking sexual desire, but like her desire to come up
to be in the vicinity. That's a human trait. It's like kids. Kids love candy. Just because kids love candy and you have candy, don't mean it's right for you to use candy to entice them to walk you over here and put them in the van.
You don't feel like what he's done should be considered a crime?
By what the law states, he did nothing illegal.
I don't know if there is a charge for what he's doing, but maybe there needs to be.
Maybe there needs to be.
The ability to use your status to get sexual favors. I don't know if that's an actual crime or not, but maybe it needs to be. We've seen too many.
No, but you can sue over that. Him himself is as much of a cringe, POS, and predatory behavior as he didn't do anything illegal yet. People
tell me why he did nothing wrong.
He's a man in this world. He had a big following, mostly female, surrounded himself with all of these girls. He had this angle. It worked. I'm just saying, whatever he did or said, he didn't do anything illegal, so how could it have been wrong? And on top of that, I mean, for all we know, these girls knew about it, or everybody knew about it, and now they're just trying to say something.
But isn't it like morally wrong?
I mean, his girl stayed with him too. So if they have an understanding, then all these girls can be upset. But
and that's all they are, though.
But
but you don't get to be upset.
He didn't make you do anything you didn't want to do. He just approached you and told you that he was attracted to you. What's your impression of this guy? And do you find what he did impressive, or do you find what he did wrong?
So I can only go off of this information I just got out right now.
Snake
seems like a snake. I wouldn't trust him. I'm not for taking advantage. And from what I'm gathering, he took advantage of these people, but wanting to get on top of a stream life or wanting that clout, as Sherman said.
I don't disagree. It was kind of hard to defend him in that hot seat.
It seemed like it.
That was a real tough one.
But in that he didn't do nothing wrong. Legally wrong, but there is a moral aspect there.
What should she have done in that situation to completely avoid what she explained, what she ended up going
That's
through?
Easy. You say no in the first place.
But she wants to get on.
Oh, no. They were going somewhere. There was a thing that was happening, and she said basically she didn't have a place to stay for it. And he's like, okay, I do. In that moment, if you feel any kind of like, I don't know.
Even when you know your opportunity could be on the other end.
What's the opportunity, though?
Ain't they all trying to get on the stream shit?
I would think that he used it as a way to get close.
If it's working, why does that make him wrong then? If
he didn't have a girlfriend, I don't think this would really be that big of a deal. But it was really the cheating and then going after multiple girls.
I think that was
and stuff. That's what was the really thing. And then the girl, her main complaint at the end of it was that she thought she was the only one. He's issued an apology and everything since, but one of the big things was that it wasn't really that much backlash for him. I don't think anything bad
Probably
has
because
happened.
they heard her story.
I don't really know what backlash could come from that. He gave a few examples of cheaters that got caught up and couldn't get their platform.
But we're assuming cheating too. They could have an open relationship.
They didn't have an open relationship.
How do you know?
Because the girl also wrote a statement too.
And we believe her.
What girl? Which girl?
his girl.
We also know how women do too.
He got caught cheating on his girlfriend.
We know how they can be okay with some things at the beginning, and then later on, their mind will change, and then they're no longer okay with certain.
Context for this situation to know that no, it wasn't an open relationship. Like Chris said, snake.
I wouldn't do business with him for sure.
Nah, if you move it like that, man, that could blow up in our face.
Yeah.
And we could be somewhere and all this shit just come to a head.
And I don't need to be an accessory to nothing.
Yeah, but I don't think anything happened to him. He issued an apology. This is like after the fact, after you got caught.
And words don't mean nothing with an apology. The change behavior is the real apology.
That's true. And to be fair, because like you said, Bryce, she was very specific not to say certain words in court. They would use that against her to fucking dismiss the case.
Oh, if I was a jury, I'd be like, oh, she won't.
Yeah.
It makes it tough because they ruin it for the girls that something really did happen to them.
Yes.
But a lot of girls weaponize the accusation. It's important if something did happen. Then it's important to speak out. Then when other people make noise and conflate it with something more serious, it kind of dilutes the pool.
Yeah, we need those women to get on those other women. Using that, because if it coming from
I think they
us, it looks like we just being insensitive or whatever. But
and most of them ain't trying to hear it from us anyway.
Anyway.